Committee ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The June 15th, 2026 meeting of the Woolwich Township Committee is being called to order. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Here.
Committeewoman Minhaus.
Here.
Committeewoman Williams.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Here.
Mayor Mathias.
Here. Everyone can please rise to salute the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so we have things ordered a little differently on the agenda today. So our first item is going to be a resolution to introduce the budget. So, can I have a motion to introduce Resolution 2026-291, resolution to read budget by title only?
Motion to introduce Resolution 2026-291.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes.
Committeewoman Minhaus.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. Now comes up the presentation for the 2026 municipal budget, and I'd like to welcome our CFO, Yvonne, as well as Mike Weldon, for our budget presentation. The floor is yours.
So the budget process started December 1st of 2025. Budget worksheets go out to all of the department heads. It's computer generated from our software. It has 5 years of...
I'm sorry, Yvonne, can you get on the microphone next to Jim? Sorry, please. Just so we can hear you.
What's the budget? So it should be a little bit of make sure that the world at large, so to speak, Dennis.
Thank you.
I lost the train of thought. But anyway, it has 5 years of historical data. It goes out to all the department heads. And then they put in their recommendations. And after their recommendations, it was due back to finance by December 30th. And then after that, the township administrator and the mayor had budget meetings with each department head. And after that, then it came back to finance, where it's all put into a spreadsheet based off of the admin recommendations, and the spreadsheet goes to the auditor who prepares the official document. In the PowerPoint, if you look at the PowerPoint, there is no tax increase to 2026 local purpose tax. The operations are stable and debt is manageable. The total budget is $19.3 million. The township has about 97 employees, full-time and part-time. Increases remain based off of contractual salary increases are contractual and related to the cost of living adjustment. The township continues to offset operations by having a number of shared service agreements with neighboring towns. On the revenue side of the budget, has a mix of revenues utilizing $4.6 million in surplus, also includes state aid, grants, and miscellaneous revenues from fees and other sources. On the appropriation side, salary and wages total $5.7 million. Other operations are $5.2 million. Debt service is roughly $4 million, which is lower than last year as the township permanently financed all of its outstanding notes. Other categories in this appropriations include statutory expenditures and capital improvements. The township has $57 million in debt, which includes principal and interest payments for general obligation bonds, open space bonds, and sewer bonds. The outstanding debt is about 20% of this, not the outstanding debt, this year's debt is 20% of the budget. The total net debt percentage for the township is 2.06%, which is below the statutory limit of 3.5%. The township capital section focuses on maintaining and improving services like improvements to streets and roads, purchases of public works vehicles, police vehicles, and fire equipment. The overall budget maintains essential services and investments in infrastructure, and maintains a stable tax rate. Any questions?
Hi, Yvonne. I had a question. Sheet 38 is titled Dedicated Assessment Budget Utility. And I don't understand what that sheet is about and why it's blank.
Well, if we had a utility, it would be in this page, but we don't have a utility. So like some towns have a sewer utility, a water utility. Harrison Township, you're right. Woolwich Township does not have a dedicated utility. So that's why this page is blank. Underneath, there are dedicated riders, which are funds that are not current in nature, and you have to go to the Division of Local Government Services to expend those funds for a particular thing. But there, at the top, there are no utilities.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I'll go, just in terms of question on the debt, maybe this is best for our auditor. So I think it was noted we're at 20.9% debt ratio.
Correct.
If you can maybe articulate more for the audience of what that means and how do we compare to maybe other towns or within the state, as well as our payoff rate. I know we have a solid plan to pay it off, but if you can articulate that.
I'm not real familiar with it, so just sitting in for Fred, but your debt, and your bonds and loans are $41 million out of that 57 million. The rest is interest. And then they have unfunded debt of $4.3 million. It depends, each town meets the requirements and everything. The reason your debt's up so far is because you had the sewer project, and then you also had, some Parks and Recs money that went in there. It's all based on the 20%. That doesn't matter. That varies between each town. Somebody like Kansas City, or you get a little town like Swedesboro, or you even go down further in Salem County. Some towns in Salem County don't have any debt at all. So it depends on, what your town has experienced at that time. But you're 20 years and 25 years behind Washington Township. Washington Township is a farm community like this, and they just build up. And now they don't have as much debt as when they were going up, because they're all built out, and they don't have to build their infrastructure. You're in the process now where your town's building their infrastructure, so your debt may increase, but then your town's growing, you'll be able to afford that debt. When the problem with the debt is when you put in a lot of debt and you're not growing and you can't afford to pay it. So once you level out, then put more debt in, then you're gonna have to increase taxes. So right now your taxes have been steady since I think 2021. So
Right.
you're managing your debt good.
Yeah, so I mean, the largest portion of our debt, right, of course, is the sewer. So just to make a note, which obviously the committee all knows, is basically the people who are building there are the ones who are actually paying for it. And essentially what we're getting from those, the revenue from it, what we would get from local tax, we are still getting and incorporating into our budget. And that is a correct statement, correct?
Correct. You're incorporating the money. You're not doing it all at once
Right.
because.
We're just taking what would be
you're taking-
naturally in our budget
Correct.
from a tax purpose for those entities.
Correct.
And the rest they are paying off, whether it be through the sewer connection fees or other payments
Or
the pilot.
Or just, regular tax rate.
Now, that's a very good point that you bring up, that again, we're managing it soundly, so that since 21, we haven't had to raise local. But also, can you speak to, and you touched upon it, about the growth, that the growth of the municipality is what's offsetting our ability to do this, correct?
Correct. Then you have I think it's a 20-year bond.
Mhm.
So, 20 years, What most towns do, what most of the towns that I participated in, we do like a 5-year capital plan. We'll do bond anticipation notes for 5 years. Then we'll go permanent on that. Then we'll start again. And then we usually do like a 10-year note or 15-year bond. And then every 5 years, one's going off, the other one's going in, and you don't experience a high fluctuation in tax service, debt service, or tax rate increase.
Thank you, and I know we're in such good shape with this budget that we're able to be self-reporting. So I know, Yvonne, this is our next resolution, but can you explain for the committee what the self-reporting mechanism is?
Sure, the local exam, so it's every third year where every municipality in the state has to have their budget certified by the Division of Local Government Services. And it comes out every budget year, so it's on a schedule. So this is your second year. I believe last year you guys will also self-exam. So next year, if the numbers are right, Woolwich would be, this budget would go to the state. This on local exam, it means basically we certify everything here at the local level.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Committee, do you have any further questions? All right.
I was just going to say thank you to everyone for
Yes.
all of your really hard work on this. I've been hearing a lot recently. We're in really good financial shape. It certainly wasn't always that way, and I have a lot of confidence in our team going forward. So this makes me very happy to hear that we're keeping taxes flat and paving roads. It's been the goal.
Yep. And I thank the subcommittee for all their hard work on the finance subcommittee. I think it was a very positive thing to meet with all of the department heads and get their feedback directly. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate our CFO's time and effort on it as well. All right. If there's no further questions, then I would like a motion to open the floor to the public regarding the public hearing on the 2026 municipal budget.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
The floor is now open for public comments on the 2026 municipal budget.
All right. Seeing no one come forward, motion to close.
Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And resolution 2026-292, resolution authorizing self-examination of the budget. Can I have a motion to adopt?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions? And roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. And resolution 2026-293, resolution adopting the 2026 municipal budget. Can I have a motion to adopt?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Good evening.
All right, now we've entered the public session for any agenda items. The public is reminded to please stand and state their name and address to the record prior to addressing the committee. Can I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
The floor is now open for agenda items.
Seeing no one come forward, motion to close.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
The floor is now closed. Ordinance 2026-14, ordinance amending the code of the Township of Woolwich to amend Chapter 95 code entitled Fees to add updated language under Section 95-8.4 entitled Fees and Review Escrow Schedule. This is the first reading introduction. Can I have a motion to introduce?
Motion.
I have a second.
Second.
All right, thank you for the motion in a second. So just for the committee's knowledge, this process has been in the works for over a year and a half. It has gone, and it's come from the Joint Land Use Board, where they have been reviewing these fees and getting them more in line. They have not been updated in over a decade, and this brings it on par with other municipalities. It has been compared to our neighbors, It has been compared to others inside Gloucester County, and this brings us right in line. It has been reviewed by our Joint Land Use Board attorney, and so this is why you're seeing it, because of course, even though it's coming from the Joint Land Use Board, we need to approve it here because it is a change in fees. So, of course, this is the first reading and introduction. Are there any questions regarding it?
I just appreciate the clarification because, I mean, some of these are 100% increase.
Oh, yeah.
For sure, so it's not a small
No.
rate for most of these items, so I appreciate that they did the due diligence of looking at other towns, because of course that's always our question,
Yes.
to make sure we are in line, not only with this, but salaries and everything else, so thank you for the clarification.
Yep. All right, hearing no further questions, roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. All right, resolutions. We're going to leave 273 currently tabled. So I am going to look for a motion for a consent agenda for resolutions 2026-294 through resolution 2026-317.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions or removals? And hearing none, can I have an all in favor? Aye. And can I have a motion to adopt resolutions 2026-294 through resolution 2026-317?
Motion.
I have a second?
Second.
I have 2 seconds, nice. All right, any discussion? I would like to say, I ask you about discussion and then I jump in. For 317, the resolution authorizing the use of land for Kingsway, we have been back and forth with Kingsway for eight months or so over this. So there is the possibility that this will change. This has not gone to their board in this version yet, but knowing that we only have one meeting in July, we thought it best to introduce it. Again, it'll go to Kingsway's board. They should, in theory, be fine with the wording the way it is. If not, we might see it back as an amendment. So, but that has been some good work back and forth with their biggest concerns was, again, since it is worded that they have 10 years in which to build on that land, there was some questions regarding, well, who's going to maintain it? If they have the ability to farm it out or lease it out the way that we do. And then also making sure that Kingsway has priority use once the fields are developed, but that the municipality would have secondary use when the fields are not in use. So those were the big things that we had to iron out with that. So are there, now I can ask, are there any other questions about any other resolutions?
If we can just stick with that resolution for a second. One, it looks great. I'm super pleased that we're going this route. It's awesome. I love how it's worded even from how we can use the fields as well. Just in terms of the indemnification, it is talking about any claims arising out of environmental conditions. Obviously that they wouldn't have to be liable, that we would. My question is, do we have the same to Wolfson as part of the settlement agreement? It doesn't pertain necessarily to this resolution, but end of the day, we're taking on
Right.
more responsibility, or is it potentially something we can research just to make sure we understand?
Well, I think it's already a done deal. We
Agreed.
accept it.
Right,
And we have an ERI, or what is it, the land, yeah, where they tell us what's in the soil and all that. But turns out there are different conditions, or levels of acceptance, and I mean, Mark might be able to join in on this. In order to build like a park, you're able to have how many parts per million of whatever chemicals. To build for a school, it is the most stringent. So we can have a park, you can have a house, you can do whatever, but a school is the most stringent. So we sent our copy of the soil sampling to them. They seemed that they were fine with it, but of course, I think it was probably their legal counsel that added in that term. But I think since we've already accepted the property, I don't know what recourse we would have with Wolfson.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure what was in the settlement agreement.
Yeah.
If there was anything tied within that. Again, nothing specific to this
No.
resolution.
I think it was more, they agreed to donate 11 acres of that land, or almost 12 acres of that land to us, and I think it is, as is where it is kind of thing.
Right. I mean, remember, it was part of that global settlement that we were walked into by Judge Becker with Judge Tricone. So that's the bad news. The good news is not a scientist, not an engineer, didn't test the soil. I think problems in that regard that you just brought up are like near zero.
Well, we're hoping.
Yes, great.
Well, I wouldn't say that about
And
it.
either way, it sounds like the fields are going to rest, the area's going to rest and hopefully dissipate, kind of like the low palmetto and other things that we have, which have naturally occurring arsenic. So that's why we're waiting out those fields, so.
Right.
Was there any environmental cleanup involved?
No, there was none needed according to their soil sampling.
Right.
Right. But like I said, the school qualifications are more stringent than anything else. So I don't know what the school levels.
I'm just thinking if there's no environmental cleanup there, probably didn't have any on the 12 acres, but
Correct.
yeah,
Correct.
it's all the same point.
Okay.
One would hope. And then a couple other quick questions on resolution 300 and 301. They are not specifically detailed as to Back Creek Road and the Center Square bike path, which is a very high-level resolution. I was just seeking clarification on what exactly we determined final for Back Creek, and Mark, it's to you, and then same thing with the bike path.
So the resolution, the draft resolution, I submitted a draft to Jess to put in there. That is state dictated language. We have to say essentially that verbatim minus a couple of the application specifics, or they won't accept it. So that's that. But in terms of what we applied for Back Creek Road, the same that we applied for last year, the whole length of it from Kings Highway to the municipal border.
Okay.
Just trying to get as much money as we can. And then for the Bikeways grant, that is the small connection piece that's in front of the salon on Center Square Road, that one part of the trail that's not there. We applied for monies to make that connection.
Okay, that's what I was expecting. It just wasn't spelled out there, which again, I understand from that aspect why. And I know it's also in your report. Just want to make sure.
Okay.
Great, thank you. Any
Yeah.
further questions?
It's very specific wording by the state, like how we had to correct it the previous time, so.
Great, thank you.
Yep. All right, any other questions? Roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. All right, reports, administrator.
Yes, just on the personnel end, we have articles for the biannual newsletter due to me by Wednesday, July 1, so you want to get on those. Coming up, July 1st, I need to have them, and it's for a mail date for August 21st. So you're looking at fall, and hard to think of fall at this point, but fall and winter. So we're going to need to get, from any of you fellows as well, articles from you all, which would be great. Information that will be interested to, that the residents would be interested in seeing and hearing the good things that are going on, as well as informational things that are happening. So be a very good newsletter. We also have sent out an email to you all today about active shooter training, which we have this Thursday at 10 a.m. We're going to make it 2 times, one in the morning, different weeks, different times of the day. So one in the morning this Thursday at 10, and then next Tuesday at 3 p.m. So if you can make it, that would be great. It's mandatory for all of the employees to make it, so they're now signing up for when they're able to be at those training times. And Sergeant Rieger is the one who is leading that. It takes about an hour each training. A couple of projects I wanted to add on to this. First, actually before the projects, there's been a few road closings just to make you aware, and I could send you an email, all those, so you don't have to remember the dates and times. But Garland Road, this Friday, you may have heard that Kingsway graduation is Wednesday, rain date is Thursday. Friday, before South State and Arawak begin paving, they're going to replace one of those pipes down towards Mill, where it really dips down. They're going to cut that open, replace the pipe, stone, all of that, do some blacktop on top. Take just a day. It'll be closed just for Friday, and then in another week or so, they'll come back and start that paving project. So that'll be on Friday. Total road closure just for the day, open at night. Second one is Oldman's Creek Road. You may have gotten some whispers from folks seeing signs starting to set up by the side of the road that there's going to be detour signs. That is going to be closed, and that's for, state told us last year, that's part of the bridge widening. So that bridge is going to be worked on actually prior to widening it. So they're going to be repaving and redoing some work that needs to be done. And then 5 years later, maybe coming down the road and
redoing some of that work and expanding the bridge, right? Isn't that right?
Yep.
Yeah, so.
They're gonna tear it all up. and
Yeah,
do
they'll
it
tear
again.
out all the new stuff, so, but right now, I think the bridge is in some disrepair, they wanna get on top of that now. So that bridge is gonna be closed from June 22nd, next week, to July 31st. Full closure, full road closure, day and night. So people will be able to go to their houses right up to that bridge, of course, but then there's gonna be detours, Rainy Road, Auburn Road, detours off of those. So that is Oldman's Creek Road, and then a third one we found out today, which is Kings Highway by Grasso Foods over here, where they're doing the last part of the village's development. 623, which is next Tuesday, to the 26th, Friday. That's going to be cut. The road's going to be cut down and widened, and so that is going to be closed. I don't know if it's going to be closed at night. Barry, do you know if it's going to be closed at night? Yeah, I think it is. I think it's going to be totally closed for 4 days, and then they're going to open it up. I don't know how they wouldn't do that with cutting the road. They could widen it, but cutting it, I think it would be tough. So I did ask, and Platinum said Chip is going to get back to me to find out if they are closing it at night as well. So that's 4 days next week, Kings Highway. Any questions about those at all, those road closures?
No, but we agreed we're gonna do a notification to the
Yes.
residents and send it out and
Yeah.
get it on social
We
media.
could do an email blast website, we'll put those notifications on our website, Woolwich Wows, all of that, we'll get that out to the people as much as we can. And any other ideas you have that we can do to communicate to the residents would be great. A few projects I wanted to mention just to bounce off of you because we only have one meeting in July, we wanted to kind of move a couple of these projects along. One is a small one, it's just a boulder project. We're only looking at probably less than $500, but the mayor was interested in having boulders along, if you can imagine down the road on the new park, and you have the roads going next to the soccer fields, and people aren't going to want to park at the end, they're going to want to park as close as they can to see son or daughter play soccer, and they'll be parking up on the grass along those roads. So we wanted to maybe place some, just a couple of feet large, of boulders that, just to try to inhibit people from parking on the side of the road. So it won't even be, it'll be longer than the length of a car. They can get in if they wanted to, but at least shows them, no, we don't want you parking along the side of the road. So we looked over at Pearson. They'll be able to deliver, again, probably up to 30 boulders, which is probably max of what we need, it seems right now. At $55 a ton, I think it's just under $500 for them to deliver. So it seems like a good price. I just wanted you to know that.
Do the boulders go on the street?
So, so let me add to that a little bit. With this map that you're looking at, we're specifically talking about the fields M and K. So on the outer edge of the driveway, there's curbing. On the inner edge, next to the fields, there is no curbing because it needs to help with drainage. So there is no curbing on that. And as you can tell, almost directly in the middle of the fields, to the left and to the right, are handicap spots. So there's 4 handicap spots. So again, path of least resistance, I think people who are going there, even though there are these beautiful, lovely paved parking spots, they're going to pull up on the grass. We've seen it happen next to the softball fields. We've seen it happen next to the baseball fields. So the thought is, again, we don't want to put something down that is interfering with the sheeting of the water. We don't want to affect that, but boulders would be something that would be aesthetically pleasing, natural, and also might deter people from parking there. So the specific locations would be on either side of the walkway so that they can also delineate that that is a walkway, not a drive path. And then again, on either side of the handicap parking so that they're not then creating additional parking spots all on their own, and then spacing around the edge so that, yes, while they could nose into it, they would not be able to pull fully. These would be offset off the road a couple of feet. So no, not directly on the road, and they would only be on the one side, the field side, not where the curbing is. So that's what we're looking to do. Again, the boulders seem to be a low-cost solution to this, and also be aesthetically pleasing. So these are 24 plus inches, 24 to 36.
24 to 36.
Yeah, 24 to 36 inches. So this is something, unless they're driving a souped-up truck that you can't see them, everybody else should be able to see these. So again, this should only be a couple $100, but I think will help us all in the long run to avoid some of these issues that we faced in the existing park. So we already have the quote, and it's a low threshold, so it's more about just letting the committee know unless there's any objections to it or any other ideas.
Just if Brian's been engaged, because now you have 30 rocks that you have to weed whack.
Yeah. Well, it was either that or bollards, but those are plastic with concrete, or something else. So they wanted some.
Yeah, telephone poles, they don't like anymore. They don't want that on there. It's hard to get them, so.
Right. So yeah, they're aware. And again, you can weed whack around a rock. It's a lot easier than some of this other stuff. So if there's no other objections, then we're good to proceed.
Okay. Next project is, we've been thinking actually the last probably 2 years, Jessica and I have been chatting because we know that the outside exterior monument side that we have on Village Green Drive there is, we're out on Center Square Road, is 18 years old. It's a monochrome sign, 19 millimeters, and today they're 6 to 8 millimeters. And we can't get any parts for it. So if it goes tomorrow, it's out. And we have one computer that's only dedicated to just that sign. I think we even may have an email just for that sign, keeping alive so that the sign's going.
It's
So
on
obviously
Windows
it's much,
10.
Right, so it's obviously much different today than it was 18 years ago in terms of signage. And so we just started to look and see, threw out there to some sign companies around, a couple from the Aston, Chester area, Delco over there are a couple over there, and then a couple others around. We got 4 proposals. All of them included, if they just took out the display and kept the monument, which is about 6.5, 7 feet by 2 feet high. If we did that, that was probably in the $25,000 range. If we take the entire monument down and replace to what you want, that's more in the $45,000 to $50,000 range. We got quotes from $42,000 to $68,000. So I threw it into AI to see what it thought, and it's kind of spit out some of the best ones, which as I went through it, seemed to be good options. Some have the Watchfire, which seems to be a good inside, a good display. It lasted 18 years, still going. So Watchfire's got a good name. It's American made. But there are others too that have a Cirrus inside or display. So that would be some of the, weight of what display do we want. And they're all the 2 that are really the top, which is Ariel and KC sign, both from the Delco area across the bridge. One is an 8 millimeter, one's a 6 millimeter. So they're very close, and they said it's going to be hard for you to even distinguish between the difference. And that really is the lowest there is about $42,000. So we look to see in terms of paying it and what we're able to do. We are going to pay that through Clean Communities. We do have 2 line items for past years that equal about $55,000 in Clean Communities. We're getting another $32,000 this year for 26 budget for Clean Communities. So the past few years, we have accumulated about $55,000 in Clean Communities, which will pay for the sign. So we don't have to make any decision or anything like that tonight. I'm just bouncing it off you because I can put all that information for the next meeting. It's not emergent because it's still going. But we know it's going to go at some point, and we didn't want to start looking around for signs companies and all that when we had a dead sign for a few months. So I just wanted to get you the rest.
So thank you. I think if you could circulate that spreadsheet that has the replace option and the retrofit option, as well as our, your 4 quotes, then we can look at it, and with your recommendation, we can put your recommendation on the agenda for next time. In the meantime, once you circulate that, the committee can ask any questions that they have, or if they know the difference between 6 and 8 millimeter resolution. I'm sure
I looked it up actually, and it's interesting. They have the LED lights all in a little square, and from the center of one little square to the center of another, it's 6 millimeters or 8 millimeters, so it's spread apart further, those little squares. Ours are 19, the one we have out there is 19. They brought some up here, and they had the signs in the back, and, you know, employees were looking out. I mean, it looked like a big just TV that you're looking at. It's incredible. So you see signs out there today. They're just beautiful signs that you can put out there. Looks like you're watching TV. So it'll be neat. And where these are really on the 8x3 size is what we're looking at. A little wider than what we have, another foot higher than what we have. A little more off the ground, probably 2 pillars, maybe a faux brick at the bottom to match a little bit more of the building. And then illuminated sign, Woolwich Township, Municipal Complex at the top, green logo. Again, I can give you those pictures. They've all sent those pictures. We can play around with them in terms of what you'd like to have with that monument if you go that direction. So we have some options and we have a little time. All right?
Thank you.
Very good. Last project is we had, as you remember, the cameras, the new cameras that we're purchasing from Pi Barker last month for the new park for High Hill for pickleball. Unbeknownst to us, as they come out and they look at the site again, they said, well, we need electric to the cameras. And so they thought, well, it's just going to be on the, you know, we don't know. We figure it's on a pole. You've got electric. You guys already know how you're going to plug into the electrics in the pole. Well, the pole has a 270 and they need a 120. So how are we going to get it to the 120? And you have different electrical companies saying different things. One's saying a transformer could handle it, which makes sense. We obviously have, the key thing is we have to have electric going 24/7. So even when the lights go out, cameras have to still be functioning. So you have transformer option, you have another option of we're going to rerun all new wire and the conduits and in there. We're going to do that, and then they'll have an own dedicated circuit. You could do that. They do have the lights at the top, or the pole that reads the sun as well, solar. So as we went through it, we got, let's see, actually, we got 3 bids, and it went from, not bids, but quotes. It went from $30,000 to, I got the last one today, $5,000. And we walked them through it.
Little
exactly
discrepancy.
what we needed. So one is a local guy who wants the business and I think did well with his price.
A local resident.
A local resident. So this is something that I would like to recommend to go forward with, because it does look like everybody is the same. They all say, I mean, we can't be any more adamant that it has to work fully, 100% of the time. Cameras on all the time, no matter what happens. So they all said yes, it would. So it would be my recommendation to go with CT Electrical Solutions, who just provided a quote, and for $45,246 to be able to.
How much?
$5,246.
That's not what you said. Yeah, you said 45.
You said 45,000.
You said 45,000.
45,000.
Wait.
Well, I
What?
said for 5,000. I mean, I should talk slowly. So I would like to move on that. I would like to get that moving, so that we can get the cameras up and get it going.
All right, so that, again, do you know where the money is coming from? Because we're going to need it certified.
It would be come through our bond, through our park.
Okay, so it's coming from the bond for park improvement projects, which we know we have the money there for. Jessica, would you like a roll call on that, or just a general all in favor?
You can do a general all in favor, and then next month I'll create a resolution to.
Okay, all right, can I have a, all in favor of allowing the administrator to move forward with the purchasing of electrical services to feed the cameras for the park and the pickleball courts? If you are agreeable, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay? There you go.
Questions at all?
So the 4,500, that is for what decision?
5,200.
5,200.
For 5,200.
Oh, okay, for FOR.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it now. So, but what was the pound, they're just digging to put a new line in, or?
No, transform.
Transform.
It's gonna come right off, transform it to 120, plug and play, in the sense of it's just gonna hardwire it, And he's already talked with Pi Barker, who will hardwire them.
The only question I'm asking on that one, is it possible that they could install another outlet? Just because there is things from time
Would
to
be a
time, like
great
we have
idea,
vendors,
which-
like for different
I
events,
agree
where
with
they
you.
would love to plug in something. I'm assuming if they're already doing a transformer, they can just throw in another outlet down the pole.
They could if they were adding another conduit, but I could ask them, or another circuit, but let me find out if they could do it off the 270. Can they do an isolated one?
Right.
But yeah, for sure. Would you want them to do that on all the new poles or just the poles?
Just
for
the one
now?
closest to the entrance, on the side, basically near the sign.
Well, you're talking for the pickleball, not necessarily for
Oh,
the park.
okay, you're saying,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
okay.
Is there, well, let me ask you this, since you brought it up. Is there a location inside the new park addition where it would behoove us to have an outlet? Like, where these cameras are located is next to the restroom facility,
It
correct?
would be great for all the poles to have an outlet. In case you ever wanted to put something on the poles, or, they have an outlet there. I don't know what that would, you'd have to have a transformer on every pole. Doesn't seem like it would be a terrible cost if I think he's doing it on 6 poles for $5,200.
I think it wouldn't hurt to find out how much
You get a
more it would
price.
be,
Yeah,
since we're gonna have to see this resolution anyways at the
Coming
next
off a long
meeting.
way. A lot of improvements.
Right. And in the park, I'm most concerned with the one specifically next to, that's where we had talked about it, right, next to the restroom facility?
oh, yes, yeah. Did you ever get a price on for the cannon, for the outlet there to go out? From the-
No.
Came in today, we are pushing back.
Good
job.
answer.
That's what I like to hear. So any questions on this electric? Okay, very good. And for the rest of my report, I am not going to give any more report. It's pretty much the same. I have had some more interest in retail. I've Philadelphia firm I met at the Delco event actually last year contacted me today, and they said they've been working on a plan for retail down on Route 322. And I'm going to see them at an event in Cape May at the Lobster House on Friday night, actually. So I said, I think I want to go to that one. And there's going to be brokers, retailers attending, developers attending. So this guy is out of Philly, and he's going to be attending that as well. So I'm going to go and hopefully meet some other folks.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you. Any questions for the administrator? Bless you. All right, tax collector, her report is submitted. Woolwich Fire Company, Chief.
All right, Mayor and Committee, you guys have my reports pretty much enclosed. We had 76 incidents for the month of April, resulting in a response time of 7 minutes 35 seconds, and one incident, which was a lift assist for EMS we weren't able to get to, they were able to take care of. In Woolwich Township, work that out, Logan Township 2, Piles Grove 1, Sweetboro 6, a couple of numbers are missing off your report, my apologies. For the month of May, the guys, you went past the firehouse, obviously you see a couple cars still there in the parking lot. And it was brought to my attention that people are like, what's going on there? So basically what the guys are doing is their extrication drills and learning to flip and move cars around, things like that, and going to different scenes. So that was there for a couple of days, you see that, they cut the cars up, our annual stuff that we usually do for car extrications. The members, the full-time work advanced rescue skills and doing some different roles and so forth. We are doing a drill for water supply June 27th out of 280 Lock Avenue. It's a county drill that we're running. We're supporting it for the big box warehouse and things like that that come to our area. Obviously, you know that the warehouse has its own water system there for the sprinkler system. If that thing was to, depending on what the commodity was inside the warehouse, was to catch fire, we're going to support that sprinkler system to help, further control the fire until we, to put it out, right, to save the property as best we can. But with that system, with the hydrant going through there, we're going to be using copious amounts of water, so we're going to have to shuttle a lot of that water in. So Saturday's drill on the 27th of June is from 8 to 12. We're going to be shuttling a lot of tanker drills, shuttling water in to meet a fire flow of about 3,000 gallons a minute. So we're going to get that from a couple different resources. One resource in over here on Paulsboro Road, another resource down on the other side of the business park. We're going to be using the static water resources, drafting avenues, water resources, filling tenders, running to the scene, doing dumping them in dump sites and feeding aerial ladders and things like that there to meet that flow for like 90 minutes. So the reason why we're doing that part, later this fall, we got ISO coming to do another audit. So we're trying to get all this information together now. We'll plug it into the ISO when it comes out the audit, gives us a better rating of our number for our classification where we're at now. So hopefully we can get to a 3. It'll be close, but we'll see what happens there. You will see signs out there probably in the next week or so, blinking signs, just letting the public know that on June 27th, between 8 and noon and lockout, where you're going to see fire apparatus around, just crossing area and things like that. So we'll have that out. We'll also post on our social media, get it out so the residents know that's going on. Like I said, it's just a drill. You're more than welcome to come out and see how all this process goes and see what it's about, see what's going to be there. There's going to be quite a bit of apparatus here in the area from around.
Are they going to be running with lights and sirens the whole time?
No, no lights and sirens. They'll be running like they are, just regular, dividing traffic and everything like that, so we don't cause no issues. But there'll be enough tenders in the area that we'll be able to keep that fire flow going and a lot of work done. So we've already talked to the property owner there. He's more than no problem. Use it and do what you got to do. So it'll help us. I don't know if you guys seen in the news in the last week, last Thursday in Tracy, California, one of those warehouses, the Meadowline warehouse, went up in fire. And it was a 1 million square foot warehouse. And that thing, they had water supply issues there, and it's just wreaked havoc in the places on the ground that's going, right? And that's not the only one. Another place in Northern California went off in April, but that was because of a disgruntled employee. It was a Kimberly-Clark warehouse. He actually set the product on fire and burnt that warehouse down. So we're trying to be proactive, and our water supply for our warehouse is just not here for Woolwich, but in the surrounding area. I don't know if you guys, I know the mayor probably sees it on there. Last week we had another incident in Logan where the building that blew up across the street, they had a fire in a small explosion there on Thursday or Friday or Wednesday last week, and that caused an issue there. So we were there for that. We were like second in truck in. We stopped it and got the issue kind of contained where it is. So that just another issue there. So water supply. Our career staff continues to remain productive during the day, responsibility schedule annual maintenance for fire apparatus equipment, participate in the local Heroes Day at the Stratton School, completing the backlog of stuff, and actually changing our system over from NIPRS to NERIS, which is a new system going out. So they're going through and changing those reports back over to NERIS, which got to be inferred to government for the law, which allows us to get grant money when we apply for grants, things like that. They've also been doing walkthrough with the fire bureau on some of the businesses throughout towns, and if there's some donations and local grant opportunities, they're actually doing some fit outs and some new renovations to the rescue truck, and equipment is coming in for some things that we're trying to update on that truck as well. They have basically, they're in their third week fire inspector. They got 3 more weeks left to go. They were in class today. They'll be in class again. It's every Mondays and Wednesdays. So hopefully by the first week of July, they'll take their state test and they'll get their certification for fire inspectors. So that'll be done. That'll be completed. And they'll be able to assist Fred on some stuff with it as need be. Lastly, our training for the month of June will be wrapping up. We have 1 live burn left for June till the fall. That's going to be on June 30th, which is a Tuesday night. We have Scott air packs coming in because we applied for a grant through the government. We're having them come down. We're testing some new system air packs that are coming out to see if it's feasible for the guys. A lot of it has to do with accountability, part checks, things like that. When they're in these large warehouses or anything else, we're able to see them a lot easier and know where they're at. So if they get in trouble, we're able to get to them faster and rescue them in the situation they are. Where in the past, you don't have that opportunity there. So this new system has come out, which I've seen it out there in Indianapolis this past April when I was out there for 3 days. We're bringing a system here into this area. A lot of people are funding it. There's some fire departments that are getting it, but the problem with it is the system is about 2 years old. It's been out in the service about 2 years. They're finally fine-tuning it. Some of the departments are applying for it through grants, so hopefully they get it. get better opportunity, we'll be able to see everybody and help everybody there. So it's going to be a good opportunity for us to see. If you want to come out that night, you're more welcome to come to the academy. You'll see that system being worked. You'll see the guys in the building using the new packs, their demos that we're going to be demoing and trying them out to see how they work. So
I'm just curious, what's that different about it? Like,
so in the past where somebody's in a building with a pack on, you're not able to prompt them. You're not able to see their bottles to manage their air. Versus they would have the manager like look at their gauge and say, hey, I'm getting close to my air. I need to get out, right? We have these larger buildings that are 1 million square foot, 500,000 square foot warehouse. They get that in there and on a 45-minute bottle. They get in so far in that building, next thing you know, they're not managing air. They got to have enough air to get themselves out. What happens now is that leaves it to the incident commander on our situation where we actually see that on the computer. We can manage and say, hey, yo, your bottles are getting down. You're able to get out. If an incident has rise, we're able to send a PAR check in. They can click in on PAR check. We know they're okay. They're not in a situation. If that person does not PAR check in, he's in trouble or something like that, we're able to send the firefighter rescue team and the RIP team in to rescue that individual and bring him out if need be. So a lot of that stuff in evacuation, if something happens, we're able to send a signal to them, evacuate them out. So this is the future is coming up. They're doing it to all the air packs, and it's just more firefighter safety to what it is.
interesting.
So is there GPS on them so that if you had to go in, you could find them?
There is no GPS. There is a tracking system on it, a pack tracking system on it. It's not like GPS, but it's able to locate them within that area where they're at, so they can find them. It sends a signal out that they were able to track.
Yeah, I guess I just see a vision where you have the layout of the warehouse on the screen, and you can see the different people moving through. Are we there yet?
It's not there yet. It's coming to it. In the future, it is. It's coming to it. This is just the next step up to it. Our packs are due up here in 28. So what I'm doing is I'm applying for a grant this year to cover municipality on both ends because it's about $350,000 to replace all the units in our firehouse. So if I can get a federal grant to pay for it all, I'm going to pay for it and grab a new system and just give my guys peace of mind that they're in there, that we're able to assist them a little bit better. Eventually in the future with that GPS, I hope we will.
He's going to go to convention next year and he's going to be like, a community woman told me I could buy this.
If I can get it from FEMA, I'll get it.
There you go.
Right now,
Well, what determines if the warehouse needs its own water tank for its suppression system?
So it depends on, and Fred can elaborate this, depends on the square footage. So square footage, like you have water hydrant, you have hydrants in the area, right? And a lot of times they'll put a tank in to meet the fire suppression system. And they have to do that through the fire subcode official. They'll take the square footage of the building, what the commodity may be or could be in that building, and multiply that and they'll say, okay, you need a fire flow, this amount of gallons, right? And that system to keep it going. Even though they have a fire tank system in there, on the side of the buildings, they have an FDIC connection where we have to come in and we have to connect to that and supplement water into that to keep that sprinkler going. For instance, if you read the story out in Indiana, there was a Walmart warehouse. It was like 2 million square foot. That Walmart warehouse, they have this magnificent racking system in there that robots run between. Well, it had caught fire up in there in the mezzanine. The sprinkler system was running, it put the fire out, but because things were smoldering on there, the building managers shut the system down to let the fire department get in, and the fire resparked. When it did, it just took off and spread. So if you're not feeding the system constantly to the point where you're keeping water on it to try to get to it, to the fireman, get inside and see where it's at, what it's located, get to it. You know, I mean, it's that, but it's all up to the building. When the engineers are designing that building, what size water.
Combo of size and what's going to be in there.
That's correct.
Commodity or product.
Correct.
Thank you.
And that thing could change, John. It could also change the building being built for a certain customer, and that's commodity, and they build a tanker, and then somebody else comes and say, hey, we're going to do a manufacturing, and we're going to add chemicals. Now they have to make adjustments to that system because it was only made for maybe dry goods, not liquid chemical goods and things like that. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you. Any other questions?
Just one question. The one incident where we did not have available qualified resources, I'm assuming that would be off hours, so not our hiring?
Yeah, so it was a lift assist. A lot of times the county EMS calls us out to help lift assist. And the guys know, I mean, they try to get out for everything they can, and we can't. Sometimes they're doing something they can't get to it. It's not things that happen every day. It could have been a Saturday or an evening that happened. We just didn't get out to help lift this. And they ended up calling another county EMS to help them there. So, and also the police help them too. So they can tell you the same thing. And TJ will probably tell you, it's a lot of times we're always helping them lift patients out because they might be a heavier weight. And it's kind of hard for two young women to pull that gentleman out where he might need a couple of us guys in there to help him get him out in the skid or something like that to get that individual out because he's oversized. So.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
That's it.
So we swear a fire agreement.
Good evening. You have my report was attached. Continuing inspections on the fire side, investigations, and the smoke alarms. Continuing to do the testing of the rental and the resales to make sure that they're in compliance. Finding a lot of them do meet the criteria, but there are the ones that are over 10 years old, and now's the time to get them. We're getting it brought up to code. A couple reminders that I put in on my report is the open burning. People like to clean their brush and vegetation and put it in a pile and light it off, not permitted. They can do recreational, a fire pit type of thing, provided that it meets the criteria. But anything else, unless they get an agricultural burn permit, and you gotta have so many acreage and whatnot to do that, no open burning. Put it in the trash and let it go that way. The other thing that I got is we're coming into the celebratory summer events coming up. Just a reminder, and I put a flyer out. I'll get with Jim and we'll get it splashed out again. No aerial fireworks, period. Not permitted in the state of New Jersey. Unless it's conducted by a licensed professional going through the permitting process, such as our Christmas event that we had last year.
Which we'll be having again this year.
Drones are beautiful, so.
Drones are 3 times as much.
We'll just throw that out there for it. Other than that, that's the report, and hope everyone's safe out there.
Thank you, Fred. I would like to bring up again, if we can get together to talk about those booster signals for the warehousing.
We spoke about that earlier. We have a place we have to look at in Swedenborg this week. So.
All right, thank you.
And then, yeah, we'll continue on that.
Okay, perfect. Any questions for Fred? Thank you. Chief Daniels.
My report pretty much covers everything going on. It's been quiet the past couple of weeks. With the summer coming, we're going to transitioning our SROs that are class 2s and not going to be working the street. So we're going to have 4 extra patrol officers on the road now during the weekends, and during the week they're also going to be supplementing patrols for any events and stuff like that we have. We're doing some interviews this week for new hires, so I'll get back to you on how they go and we're going to progress with that. And just getting ready for summer traffic and just dealing with all that delay.
So I know we had a series of car break-ins. Can you talk on that a little bit, please?
So the car break-ins, I don't remember the exact date. It was a one-night event. I believe it was a Friday into a Saturday night last month, and there were several vehicles broken into. We had 2 stolen cars, but as I said in previous meetings, all these cars are unlocked, and every car that's stolen has the keys left inside. Not one vehicle was broken into. It's just a crime of opportunity. And like I showed you on the video, surveillance video, these guys were driving around in stolen vehicles, and they'll have 4 or 5 guys in the car. They'll pull up on the street, they'll jump out. They'll all just take a driveway, pull the handles, get what they can, and take off. We've recovered those stolen vehicles, and we have some suspects and some charges pending. But luckily, they have not been back since that night. So
which is good, but as you said, it's the summer season, and so again,
we totally expected to pick up, but we adjust our policing methods and stuff like that to combat that as best we can.
Oh, I know, we adjust, but we also got to remind residents that they need to lock their car doors and take their keys with them. I love that everybody thinks we live in Mayberry, which is a great mentality to have, but no, we definitely need to lock our doors. But thank you. All right, any questions? All right, thank you. Mark.
All right, good evening. You have my report. There's a couple things I wanted to highlight. As mentioned earlier, we did submit our yearly state municipal aid applications. For regular municipal aid, we submitted for Back Creek Road, as we did last year, hopefully getting a little bit more money this time around. The limits are from Kings Highway to the municipal border. Our second application we submitted was for the Bikeways grant, which is for the Center Square Road Walking Trail connection, which is that missing portion of the trail in front of where the salon is. Hopefully, this is, I think, our third year submitting for this. Hopefully, we can get money for that and get that project started. With the resolutions passed tonight, we'll submit the signed resolutions to the state platform, and then usually those grant announcements come in early November, so we'll update you when that comes in. For Lockout Park, substantial completion date is this Friday. Speaking with my inspector this morning, they are on track for that. There was one thing, they had to install the guide rail by the access road, which they did, and that was the only thing that the inspector said was going to hold up substantial completion. We did send in a punch list earlier this month, so an important distinction to make is substantial completion is what is kind of known as, was defined as everything that has been installed is in a usable state, or at least the systems of the improvements are in a usable state. Any punch list items are just minor repairs that need to be made, and the contractor has 30 days from substantial completion date to fix those punch list repairs. So we submitted that punch list earlier this month to give them a head start, and then they'll have 30 days from Friday to complete everything that was on that list for completion on that.
Are those DPW bins in place?
I believe they are. I'll have to double check again with Josh, but I know that it was on their radar to do.
Okay.
I think it was just one of the last things that they had scheduled to do, because it's just kind of
Interesting.
deliver, like whenever they got in the cinder blocks or the masonry, it was just a matter of laying them out. But I'll have to double check on that with Josh. That's the one thing I
Okay.
got to check on.
As of last week, they were not in.
Okay. But it's on the plan, so
Okay.
that's going to be done by Friday.
Yeah, the 19th's coming up.
Right.
So that's why I was kind of wondering about it.
The last time I spoke with the contractor last week, I believe they were waiting on the delivery for the materials to get in, but I believe that was done, but I can double check on that as well.
I'm sorry, has Brian Hughes been engaged in this final walkthrough as well?
Yes.
He's been involved through that?
Yes.
I'm just thinking because it's going to be turned over to him, so whatever's not done falls under his purview, so I want to make sure we get his sign off as well.
Yes, and I believe that we're going to have a final walkthrough again. Was it
Probably Monday.
Monday due to the holiday on Friday?
We're trying to do it Friday, we're not here, so Josh just contacted me today, looks like Monday.
Okay, great, thank you.
I have not received a schedule on the extra field lighting installation yet. I followed up again today. I still have not received it yet. The last time I spoke with the general contractor, I believe their subcontractor was still delaying giving them a schedule, but when that comes in, I will keep you guys aware, and we'll probably have to issue a separate time extension for just those improvements, just to kind of make sure that that's buttoned up in that way based on the schedule that they submit.
Should we have done that at this meeting?
Well, I think if they submit a letter prior to it, then technically they're still
Okay.
They're still within that
Covered.
time period, and then we'll just officially codify it with the resolution in July or when. Yeah.
So are we in jeopardy of not getting this done by September?
I don't believe so. That's not what I've heard so far, but I just haven't gotten a schedule yet. But so far, everything that I've heard, they're still on schedule for that. But I haven't gotten essentially a breakdown of when everything's going to happen, because I've just been asking about that. But
Okay, because I don't want to provide an extension just because we can get it done. I mean, it needs to get done so we can actually provide the usage to all the athletic facilities.
Correct. Yeah. So the extension would only apply just for the field lighting portion of it.
Just the which part?
The extra field lighting that's going on FGH and I.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Right.
but everything's ordered, so we just don't have an updated date yet. That's it.
For the delivery or for the?
For the installation and, yeah, the installation of lighting.
Okay, because we talked about before where they could at least dig and put the conduits in.
Correct, and that's what I've been asking. I when they placed the order for everything, I asked them, okay, I don't even need an exact date. Let's just say it gets delivered August 1st. Back out what schedule we would need from that date. Just kind of use that as a reference, just so we at least have a frame or reference for everything. And I have not received that schedule. So,
Right. I mean, just obviously July, early August is ideal for the digging.
Correct.
Because it's not as used. Okay.
And I do want to point out before you go ahead, that while the township is going to take ownership of this park, hopefully on the 19th, with a punch list outstanding, that does not mean that it is open for public use. So the barricades will stay in place. I know people are walking on the walking trails, which is one thing, but we are keeping the barricades in place until the fields are in condition where we can open it up and allow it for play. So just so the committee knows and can share with the community, just a reminder about that. So it's while it might be ready, it is not ready to use quite yet. So.
Do we want to allow the drive-through in the back entrance once that's done? Or, I mean, it is done, but.
No, because I think as soon as you
Once
open
you
up,
start
as
it.
soon as you start it, there's no way to stop it. So right now, I think it's better off to keep it closed, let everything grow until we get that final date when we're ready to go, and then open it up. Plus, and I know, sorry, I'm interrupting, which I'll make a note. We need to pick a date for the ribbon cutting in September, but we'll get back to that. So
We might want to order just a couple of signs that say feel closed at least, because we know kids will just go in and walk.
True.
Or adults as well. For
Yeah.
various programs.
I'll add it. Okay, thank you. Please continue.
any other questions on the park before I move on? Okay. Just my final update. So as discussed earlier, Garwin Road will be starting soon. It's split up into 2 different contracts by direction of the state. 2 different contracts with 2 different contractors. So phase 1 is South State contractors. They're going to start their pipe replacement on this Friday. It'll be a full road closure for just that one day on Friday. And then they're going to have let the pipe do any sort of settling that it might need to do for 30 days. In that meantime, the other contractor, Arawak, will be doing their portion of it, which is from Benito Drive southward to 322. It's a little bit north of Benito Drive, but it'll be from there south through 22. When they are done their paving and their work, then South State will come back and then do north of Benito Drive up to Mill Road. But they needed that time to let the pipe settle just to make sure that nothing like what happened on Back Creek Road where the road dipped. And we want to avoid that as before they go in and pave, so that if they install the pipe, pave right over it right away, then the pipe settles and that's the newly paved road and it dips. So they want to try to avoid that as much as possible. So that's the game plan for that. We've already coordinated with both contractors. Arawak is good with South State schedule and vice versa. So they're good on that end, but that's the game plan for that.
And are they doing one lane closed each way, or are they shutting it down?
For paving, it'll be one lane closed each way, yes. All right, that was my final update. Any other questions?
Any questions?
Just one more on Oliphant's Mill. So we have a discrepancy. I know the administrative report basically says by end of June, all paperwork will be submitted. Yours just says that you're working on it. So I just want to make sure, are we clear on getting all the permitting for design and all the work for dam safety submission done by end of month?
Correct, yes.
Are they on the clock then for 90 days, do we know? Or
Dam safety.
Sometimes we have rules and sometimes it's just.
So we have 2 different submissions for this. It's DEP in general for general wetlands and flood hazard area, and then dam safety. So we're submitting the same package, just 2 different things. DEP has a clock, 90 days, I believe is the current clock. Dam safety has no clock. So.
But dam safety has been involved for 4, almost 5 years now?
They've been previously involved. The last review, I believe, took them over a year, but I'm hoping that with now it's kind of like a resubmission. They're familiar with the project. It won't take them as long. A lot of the plans are mostly the same. It's just slight changes with some of the language. So hopefully the review will be faster, but
technically no clock.
There is no clock.
How optimistic are you that we're going to hear from them?
Is there anything we could do from an escalation at all?
I can't get them to review my own stuff, so.
So we figured out, we'll tell you.
Warrington Mill is an example.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go there next.
Still up there.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
But again, we can do everything on our end, and as soon as we get the clearance from DEP, then we'll submit that all to FEMA and say this is the point where we're at. And I think we've done everything that we, at that point.
Could FEMA, again, withdraw that money just because we're waiting on dam safety for another year? Could we are on the clock for that too, right? That's the end of this year?
End of this year, we're supposed to award. So I don't know, I think as we get a little closer, we can discuss what we can do in order to protect ourselves with that funding. But I don't know if we can proceed theoretically with a certain point with issuing something.
That's like $800,000, right?
It's a little down because again, it was that giant pile of money.
Yeah.
So I think it's still 600,000.
Yeah.
You're still over $500,000. So yeah, we need it. I don't want to lose it. We'll hopefully hear from them rather quickly because we have a good contact with dam safety right now.
I have a contact.
A contact, not a good contact.
I think Barry might have the same contact, so I'm not sure exactly.
With his optimism.
We had them invited to a meeting they did attend, so maybe we can offer lunch here and then,
Sounds good.
lose the keys to the lock on the door. And
Right. I don't know. Whatever we can do to help facilitate this, I think we will. All right, thank you.
Natalie?
Yeah.
Can we take a 2-minute recess?
Absolutely. All right. Do you just need me to say it or?
We need a 2-minute motion.
All right, can I have a motion for a 2-minute recess?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. We are in recess.
Thank you.
A motion to return to regular session.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are now back in regular session. All right. Thank you. All right, any additional questions? Okay, thank you. Liaison reports. Committeeman Frederick.
All right, a couple updates for you. So first off, pickleball tournament was this June 6th and 7th, which is why I'm wearing my T-shirt for the night. So it was a great tournament. It was definitely hot for sure, but everyone seemed to have a great time. Our net proceeds minus all payouts is roughly $2,700, which is great. That'll help us get through pretty much everything we would need through the year, just normal maintenance and things of that nature. We also have leagues that begin this week. They're basically every 6 weeks starts a new league, rotating with different ages and skill levels. So everything's going along nicely there. The other item from last month was volleyball. We were talking about that. I did meet with Brian. The best from a short-term perspective was basically near the solar panel or the solar thing with like a nice tall fence. There are 2 trees that would be in the way. One is dead, or on its way out the door, and then there's one that we
Soon to be dead?
Soon to be dead, if the committee approves. It's basically already maintained from a grass perspective. We're looking at other areas in the field where we eventually want to build the park. That would just create more time and more energy, and probably have to find someone to get the land a little bit more level. So all in all, there's enough for 1 court, which is perfect for what we're looking for. Looking at basic nets and then kind of a tape line, we're looking for less than $750 to put that in play, just to see what the interest is. As a whole, I know there's a lot of kids that are there with volleyballs now, that they can hopefully then just migrate right outside to see that court.
Can I ask you a couple questions
Go,
about that? Because
please, go
I
ahead.
also met with Brian after you had met with him.
Great.
And the location right next to a fence with solar panels, if you played volleyball, you know that the balls go out of bounds quite a bit.
Right.
So now all the balls are then going over into the solar panels and potentially damaging them, or even the accessibility of having
It's more the
kids jump
accessibility. Yeah,
over
I mean, for
the
the most
fence,
part, it
so-
would be the side of it, so it'd be long. Again, will a ball ever go in there? Absolutely.
Yeah.
No understanding about that one. But we would shift it in a way where the court would be as far away from the fence as possible, which would be about.
Which would be against the edge of the retention pond.
Correct, right. So where it's at, where it would be shifted, it would be roughly about 10 feet between line and then the fence, which for the most part, just seen a lot of volleyball, the amount of times that would bounce over about an 8 or 10 foot fence.
Yeah, 6 to 8, I think, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around that neck of the woods. Will it ever happen? Of course it will. We would just need to say, we'll get it to you eventually.
Yeah, I'm just a little concerned about that location, and yes, you're right, there are 2 trees there, so it's to me not the most ideal with having the drop off of the retention pond
Sure.
on the one side and then the fence and solar panels on the other. I don't know, and I know you said you looked at the other location on the far side and that's not suitable.
So, I mean, we have a couple options, right? So in terms of what they can do, we would need some support. I know Joe Madeira comes and obviously tills the garden every year. So we could ask him or another farmer to say, hey, can they just come through? Obviously, we can cut it down.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, can they just come through and get it good enough? Because it's just for kind of a fun rec division there. And then just seed it in the fall once you can actually seed it.
Mm-hmm.
We can do it that route. That would just take a little bit more coordination. We could do this one in the interim. It's just literally just putting 2 poles in the ground. We could always shift it and move it if it's not working out as well. So couple different options to play with.
So why volleyball as opposed to Gaga pit? That would fit small,
Yeah,
like it's a smaller footprint or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we can go that route too. I mean, we have the one Gaga pit over there. We just
Right.
know there's a lot of people who are playing pickleball right now with playing, like bringing a volleyball or a soccer ball just to kind of play a similar type of volleyball match. That's what drew that particular interest.
Yeah, I'm just really concerned with that placement. It seems like,
It's definitely not long, I mean, long-term, clearly not the right
Yeah.
spot to be. It's just a matter of, do we want to put something there short-term while we hopefully in the next year or two try to start developing the park.
yeah, I don't know. I would ask the committee members to go out and take a look at it, and then maybe we can look at that section on the far side of the field again, to see what we can do, and like you said, about grading it or something like that, because even if it is temporary, I don't know if it's.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely, again, we could grade it if we get a farmer to come in.
Where do you think it should go?
Well, I thought we were originally talking about it over here, but that's ungraded and all that, so this is flat, but you got, how far of the drop off is it to the retention pond? That's,
I mean, once it goes from there to
3?
10 feet,
okay.
I mean, it's gradual, it's not like a cliff.
Yeah, but so that's all sloped, and then you got this fence.
You could have a 2-second sledding ride if you're away.
Right.
Oh, well, everybody's thinking about that. Congratulations on the pickleball tournament. I know it was very well attended. You mentioned $2,700 is that taking out the tournament director's
Correct.
fee? Okay, all right.
Yep, that's everything.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah, it was 27 and some change, but basically 27.
Okay. All right. All right, so,
Yeah, so I can also pursue just asking if Joe or other local farmers would be able to, again, we can cut it down. They can come in with just getting it somewhat level, and then we can get, I don't know, a load full of sand just to kind of keep it somewhat clean and level. I'm not sure how much that would cost, but.
yeah, I think, well, so I know when we had a scout who was interested in doing a sand volleyball court over at High Hill Park, they did not proceed with doing a sand volleyball court because of the amount of truckloads of sand it would have taken. It would have cost $20,000.
Yeah, so to do it right is about 20,000.
Yeah.
For sure. So
Yeah.
we're just looking at a temporary, if we get it generally level with the dirt and we just throw something on top of it just as a interim.
Right.
Ideally, you would throw a rock base on the bottom and then sand on top of it just for natural.
Right, but now we're creating fields. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I want to see what we can do, if anything, on that far side before we try and wedge something in that might not be the best location, because I imagine balls going into those solar panels.
Yeah, it's definitely
all
not
the time.
ideal, right,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, it's a good enough for the moment,
Right.
knowing that obviously long-term, hopefully we're doing something bigger with the park.
So, all right, well, if you pursue on your end, finding out about, and in the meantime, if the committee can go take a look and come up with your ideas, and then you can present it back at the next.
That sounds good.
Thank you.
And then just my third item and final item is just, we have the county economic development meeting on the 24th, which myself and Jim will be attending, and that's, the main focus is on AI. So we'll report back if there's anything fun, which obviously Jim has already quoted using once tonight, so that's good to hear.
All right, thank you. Any questions for the committeeman? All right, Committeewoman Williams.
Okay. Parks and Rec, this is our slow season. We do have a movie night on August 12th, rain date the 13th. What's really nice is that Franklin Bank has asked to partner with us, and they will be at the event and provide popcorn and water. The movie is How to Train Your Dragon. And since I'll be working on my newsletter article, I will be finalizing all the fall events very quickly.
Excellent.
Yes, thank you, Jim.
He did tell us about it last month. All right, thank you, Jackie. Any questions for the committeewoman? All right, Committeewoman Midhouse.
All right, trash and recycling for the month of May. There were 84 extra cardboard collections. There were 182 metal collections scheduled, which is equivalent to 1.89 tons, equaling to $340.20 received. There were 291 bulk collections, equaling to 24.67 tons. On the note of the plastic bags, we did go down a little bit. So the residents are taking a little bit of care, not putting plastic in their recycling. But Nick and I usually go for walks, and I kind of was looking at all the recycling. Not all the recycling bins have, like some of them have the stickers that say that this doesn't go in there, that, not all of them have it. So I don't know how, unless the residents come here and pick up the stickers and stick them on there, just to kind of like a reminder. I think like when you look at the lid and you see, shouldn't put that, you shouldn't put this in there or that in there. It's like a reminder, otherwise you just dump it in there.
Yep.
So I think that's, because I've just been trying to figure out like what ways, and it is hard because there's so many residents to be able to,
right.
How do you get them not?
And we do have them available here to pick up,
Compliance
right?
would probably not be very good with people picking them up, and putting them
No.
on there. Because in other towns I've seen that the people themselves actually take them off the container sometimes.
Really?
Inexplicably. That was my reaction, really. But, it's a big world out there.
But we do have them here, right?
I believe so.
How did we get them on there in the first place?
Yeah.
When we
Guy does
brought them all out, when we went through the Logan contract, they deliver them with the sticker on.
Already stickered up.
Well, so I know there's a stockpile at Public Works. Maybe Committeewoman can head over there with some stickers and at least take care of the stockpile so that when those ones go out to the
high
residents,
schoolers and middle schoolers always looking for
there's
volunteer
that too,
hours.
yeah.
So we could post it there.
Well, she can walk from her house. No, that's a good point that you brought up. So yeah, maybe if there's some way that those that are in our possession can get those stickers, that would be a good start.
And then on the health department, we have the wellness, and there was an email that was sent out for anyone that wants to join the advisory committee. So that's basically forming a committee to collaborate, to think of ideas for wellness for the residents. If anyone has any questions, you can contact me or even Natalie and get more information on that. And then you had a Zoom meeting with Pavani.
Yes.
And how did that go? I missed that one.
Yeah, no, it went great in that we set up that email that I sent out to all of the professionals and residents in the medical fields. And so from that, we're going to have this. And I think at this Zoom meeting that we're going to schedule, it'll be in July, we're going to come up with the format. So it seems that the consensus to be, and this is for the committee to ponder as well, with the first wellness campaign, we tried a 6-week-long course, and it was not that well attended. So moving forward, do we think, what is going to appeal to most of the residents? Is it a single lecture or educational session? Is it a single like activity session, like a yoga session? Is it a series of yoga or mindfulness or healthy eatings? Like, so are they demonstrations or lectures, or is it a series? Is it healthcare screenings? Like, where are we going to get the most residents attending? And so that's what the kickoff meeting is going to be. And then also learning what field of expertise everybody on the committee has. Because each of these things, if we're looking to do a calendar, should be headed up by someone with experience. So right now we have everything from yoga instructors to mindfulness to Inspira Cancer Clinic wants to come out and do screenings. We also talked to the county. The county will do blood pressure and cholesterol screenings. So we have a nice mix. So it's now just kind of putting it all together and see how it works. Right.
I think it's really hard to get residents to come out at night in the evening to attend anything. I see pretty good attendance at Parks and Rec events that are held on Saturday mornings, 10 to 12. And that's also a good time for seniors.
Thank you. All right, well, again, you can reach out to Cindy or myself should you have any suggestions or ideas for that. Thank you. Are there any questions for the committee woman? All right, Deputy Mayor?
All right, so I'll start with the schools. Last day of school is coming up for Kingsway and Swedesboro Woolwich. Kingsway on Wednesday and elementary schools on Thursday, which seems really unfair. But on the Environmental Commission, it was all about pollinators. So the basin out front was at one point a pollinator garden, similar to the sign 18 years ago. We had someone from the South Jersey Land Trust that came out, and she had remembered the project specifically because her daughter is now graduating from school, and she said that she was pregnant at the time. So that's how we know it's 18 years old for sure. Anyway, she said that it looked like it could be restored. The mechanism for that would essentially be to mow half of it in the fall each year, so only one half. The idea being this would not destroy a bunch of habitats. I'm not a pollinator expert. So if the committee is interested in this, I would work with Jim to work with Brian to see if that's more or less work for them. It sounds like it would be less work, but I don't know. Any thoughts on attempting to restore that? It would look kind of like it does right now, but with wildflowers.
Where is the location?
The one right out front. Got a whole bunch of stuff growing in it. Apparently some of it's very good stuff. Some of it's not.
Well, so if it was originally, because I know there's a design difference in between having vegetation inside a basin or not. So this is designed to have vegetation in it, so it wouldn't affect the function.
If it's a bioretention basin, typically those have vegetation in it. So I feel like as long as you're not taking that away, you should be fine.
And as part of the mowing in the fall, it would be seeded with more wildflowers to try to get it more wildflower pollinator focused than the current mix of pollinators and some other stuff.
It sounds like a good idea.
No, I know. I think I'm definitely in favor of that. And in fact, we might be looking at some of that on the actual PMC site because we have, again, it's going to be used for pop-up practice fields, but then since it is so large, we might just look at putting the wildflower mix there and making it an unofficial pollinator garden there too, uptown.
Next to where kids play.
What about those retention basins where they're growing trees?
Some of them are designed for that, and then others are not. So it's a bioretention basin has the...
Typically, yes, bioretention basins have plants inside that way. It's bioretention because it retains the water. So if you have vegetation there, then it can use that water to, have it go into the roots and absorb it.
So these two marked on the map are bioretention basins, and then the rest are...
On Lockout Park, so the PMC parcel does not have bioretention basins. So those are infiltration.
There's plants in some of them.
There's a tree.
You sure about that, Mark?
So the one
Here.
north, I can point to the.
There's plants in this one? And in that one?
Yes, correct, sorry, I thought you
Yeah.
were- I thought you were-
Oh, no, not those two. Yeah. All right. I was gonna say, somebody better double check
No,
their
no.
punch list if it's not supposed to be there.
Now, they actually have perforated pipe under this as well.
Yeah, correct,
Right?
yes.
Moving the water to the swamp area.
Final thing was, the South Jersey Land Trust may be able to get us access to grant money for rain gardens. I didn't know what a rain garden was. To be honest, I'm still not completely clear on that, but if we're interested in pursuing that, she's willing to work with us. It would really be around things that drain, putting at the base of a drain. And it's supposed to encourage water going back into the ground as opposed to out, down, eventually down a river and reducing flooding.
And where would these go?
That's the open question right now.
Okay.
Haven't gotten that far.
Well, again, we used to have a rain garden out here in the basin that was behind the municipality that was another scout project, but I think that dried up because it did not get enough rain. Unfortunately. So, yeah, I think pursue it. See where it could be applicable.
All right.
But unless anybody has any objections to it. Okay. Any questions for the deputy mayor? All right, under my report, again, you heard from our administrator. Today, I was at Kingsway because they had their senior award ceremony. As Mike said, it's graduation on Wednesday. So Woolwich Township provides a very small scholarship to 2 Kingsway students, graduating seniors who are Woolwich Township residents that are selected from their advisors. And so I would like to mention Javen Chen and Sophie Park, who I gave the checks to today, and I've also invited them both to attend a township meeting so that we can give them a proclamation for all their hard work graduating Kingsway, so we will follow up with that. Also, I want to thank the 3rd Legislative District for getting the New Jersey Mobile MVC unit here. So they were able to take 75 appointments, and I think they had 70 of them filled, and they only had 5 openings. So that was really, really good, and hopefully, I know they go around to every municipality, but hopefully we'll have them back here in the fall because it seemed our residents really appreciated that.
Can I interject on that? I tried to book an appointment, I called, and they took the information because it was going to be for my son, so he was going to come home from school and do this. The day of, she sends me the email telling me what time the appointment is. So we missed it. So there seemed to be some logistic concerns with that.
Well, we can report that to them so that they're
Yeah.
aware.
I sent her an email back and
Oh, okay.
said, geez, I needed a little bit of notice.
Gotcha. Under the Joint Land Use Board, again, you're seeing the fees that came through as our first reading. You are also going to be, oh no, actually you won't be seeing, but we are updating the checklist that everybody needs to complete when they have applications for the Joint Land Use Board. And it is, again, needed to be redone, has been in process for a year. I don't think it'll make it to committee because it's a completeness checklist, so that'll stay with the Joint Land Use Board, but you're seeing the results of that. And then we also heard from the new tenants for, what is it, Bagels and Brew? Bagels and Brew. As you know, the shopping center across the street from us was designed with a drive-through. And so now these new tenants want to make that drive-through functional. So they went to the Joint Land Use Board not so much because they want to use the drive-through, but because they want to do an outdoor menu board with a speaker. And that was not foreseen. The drive-through, of course, is there and it's existing. But in order to have that menu and the speaker, therefore they needed to come to the Joint Land Use Board. So there was a lot of talk about where exactly the placement of that would go, but ultimately the Joint Land Use Board passed it. So that's why you'll see coming soon with a drive-through. I don't know if you've seen the signs, but so you will be able to pick up your coffee and bagels and all that. They're coming up soon. And that is all that I have, unless you have any questions. All right. Under old business, we don't have anything unless the committee has something to bring forward. All right, under new business, Jessica reminds us that there's only one meeting next month on July 20th, so we wish everybody a very happy July 4th. And then, as I mentioned, ribbon cutting date. So in September, I need everybody to get out your calendars. We need to pick and choose if we could get a date or so for, I would say, a weekday and then a weekend, which I know will be tough, so that we can try and decide when to have this ribbon cutting.
Just pick a day. I have no idea, fair or not.
All right.
Right now you want to do that, or in July?
Well, ideally now, because then we're going to, again, invite our Green Acres liaisons and some of the higher ups, so the more notice we can give, the better.
During the day, right?
Yes, it would be during the day.
Fine.
So, Committeeman Frederick,
I'm in Florida one weekend in September, but I'm not sure what weekend. That's
all
right.
right. Are Thursdays still your most flexible day?
No, Thursday's my least.
Least flexible, all right. Committeewoman Williams, do you have a flexible day during the week?
No,
No.
but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I can work around it.
All right, and I would go back to Committeeman Frederick. Is there a different day other than Thursdays that's more flexible?
Well, we have our meeting, on the 8th of September?
Correct.
Can we just do it that day?
Sure. So,
9/8?
yeah, I'm wondering what kind of attendance we'll get right after the holiday, but we'll find out. All right, does that work? Seem to work for everybody? All right. We'll put it as a theoretical. All right. Is there anything else for new business? All right, we've arrived at the second public comment session. The public is reminded to please stand and state their name and address for the record prior to addressing the committee. Can I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
The floor is now open for public comment.
Hey, I'm Anthony, 101 Bellwood Crossing in Woolwich. I just wanted to do a quick note about potentially the committee or township could consider having a policy for considering the environmental impact of purchases or different alternatives when making purchases, and if not, that be considered precedence of this. East Greenwich over the next township has something like that. Their resolution 42-2022 green design of municipal buildings, for example. And then I'll note that in many cases, the environmentally preferable option is also a fiscally responsible one. On top of the vehicles, for example, the cost of electric vehicles is already lower than their internal combustion engine counterparts over the long term due to lower fuel costs. My family and I, we drive an EV since like 2019, and even with the electric price increases, it's still much lower. So 30 cents a kilowatt hour, that's comes down to about $16, $17 to fill up the tank, so to speak, and go 250 miles. So I think this is also a similar case for like lawnmowers, and that will emit a lot less pollutants over the term. I think the township also has like solar power purchase agreement, so that cost would even be even lower. I think vehicles that idle a lot, like police vehicles, for example, like 50 to 60% of their idling time, and that would also save a significant amount of not only from air pollutants, but also money from fuel. Yeah, I'm sure I and many others in the Environmental Commission would be happy to do like evaluation or analysis of these things.
Thank you, Mr. Champion.
Bless you. Yeah.
Seeing no one additional come forward, motion to close.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we do not need to have a closed session because we are still waiting for information from our redevelopment attorney. They had put they were trying to get a meeting with the entity that proposed the pilot revision, and they have not been able to schedule that meeting yet. So can I have a motion to approve the minutes, regular minutes dated May 18, 2026, and June 1st, and the executive minutes dated June 1st?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And can I have a motion to approve the bills and purchase orders as submitted?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes, abstain all Verizon bills.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes, abstain from May 18th, yes to June 1st. I mean, I wasn't here on May 18th.
Well, then, no, let's go back. That was for the minutes.
Oh, okay.
So you would just, can the
Yeah.
record reflect? Perfect.
I can do that. No worries.
Good, all right. How about for the bills?
Yes.
All right.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentina.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. And can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
I have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Again, see you in July.